the bothersome benefits of time spent in sweet solitude will with only my Saviour to keep me company. Your word is like a mighty hammer smashing through rocks. When I am shell-shocked, you assist my speedy recovery. To discover you is the greatest of treasures to ever come across. To know you is to love you. To feel you in my heart gives me the greatest sense of joy and peace. I remember that time I thought there was no way I could find another plane. I would be forced to sleep on the streets. I would probably deteriorate and rapidly decay in the absence of pity. Mistaken for just another rich foreigner taken up space in a city familiar to some yet strange and alien to me. I remember all the times I was bullied at school, reminiscing on how things could have turned much worse. If my dad hadn't stepped in to break up that fight, if my heavenly papa wasn't guiding him to stand up against evil and do what's right. Remember when I was forced to take a solo flight, when the original plan was for me to travel with my friends, but their baby didn't have a visa, so they had to stay back and wait longer. I was petrified like driftwood or a fossilized dinosaur bone. I didn't quite know how to handle the situation. The Christian elderly flight attendant soothed my troubled mind, guiding me through my trauma. When I was acting like a greenhorn who'd never sat inside a giant metal bird lodged between its wings before, you provided somebody to greet me and assist in carrying my bags. You kept the ruffians away from being employed or volunteering for that task. You gave me the use of a mobile phone when I had to find my pastor friend, and he was nowhere to be seen. So I lied and said I'd pay a chick to use her cell. Then I backtracked and apologized for not having the cash to return her sudden generosity. You helped out my pastor friend and I by bringing a benevolent fellow minister of the gospel across our paths when we were money struck up north, not realizing all the extra hidden fees we would need for crossing bridges, using barges entering into a protected national park. They seized our visas. That froze my confidence, I solid. What if I never returned to my home? I didn't fancy ending my days in poverty, though I have seen plenty of happy folks who don't need much to bring them smiles, and I have seen the biggest dippers in their own pockets for a few coins to get through to the next morn. I remember that time Dad did another job. You made sure we didn't go without corn on our cob. We weren't hobnobbing with hobos. We didn't get clobbered by the mad rush for filled up bowls at the local soup kitchen. That cussing vicious place full of ganja smokers, laughing loud noise, and even the odd street preacher popping up amongst them. I remember that time you made my sister and guinea pigs well again, manifesting your miracle working power, providing the moolah required for our mission trip when it was the 11th hour. My friend the school leader digging in his piggy bank, sacrificing his own self-expression to alleviate his mate's depression. I never thought that you would give me even one job, yet alone the multitude of employers I have had over the years. I didn't consider the possibility that having a woman to love and call my own would be anything but a dream for me. But it is fast becoming a reality. Though I still struggle with temptation and my lack of patience waiting for her arrival at my doorstep, I needed to be prized apart with forceps from the lips of the lady I loved, pulled off her hips, thinking her more tasty than a bunch of fish and chips. I know I really need to get a grip, 'cause I can't keep carrying on like this. Why do I have to endure all of these lonely hours? Should I just lie down on the grass and die, decompose amongst the flowers? I'm more used to the world dead than alive. I can't see how God has any kind of purpose for me to achieve. Maybe the best is yet to come for me, but I hate this pain and I'd give all the money on earth just to break free. Death isn't something that I fear anymore. In fact, I welcome it with open arms. Come, Grim Reaper, consume me right now. Like a hungry caterpillar gobbling up a leaf. What have I accomplished in this life? Keep reaching beyond the limitations I place on my horizons. Herds of bison, follow your guiding voice. Keep that python away from my neck. Stop it from wrapping itself around it. If I want a boa, I will pick a feathered version, not a constrictor, tightening its grip, cutting short the circulation of oxygen around my lungs, creating a kink in the blood flow through my central nervous system. I get why people keep their distance from me, cause I'm way too intense, wanting to either lecture everybody, dissect every detail of their life, like a police investigator, analyzing why they choose to act the way they do. Like a psychologist, some may think I belong in a psych ward, cause the causes I applaud are all those that Lord our Lord, my consort, my consolation, Valentine for the concubine and the chaste faithful felicitous spouse, holding tight to hope. I have plunged to the depths of despair and got in my hair tangled up with seaweed. You have freed me from the snare of the fowler. You have protected me from getting slaughtered by prowlers, even if you didn't keep them away from our home. It's a mystery why you allow certain things and refuse to permit others. I trust you know what's best for me, even though I don't understand the way your mind works. 'Cause it works, both within and outside the confines of logic. You bring people together who appear incompatible on the surface. You cause prophets to go out and marry whores. You tell your people to battle the enemy with lanterns and trumpets, with marching, singing and shouting in sequence, frequently till the walls come tumbling. When we offer you the wrong kind of sacrifice, the ground may start rumbling. I need my heart to remain humble. Will it take my ceiling crumbling all around me to prove that faith is more than a warm fuzzy feeling? It is proven by your miracles round the clock. The evidence for your existence is overwhelming. When I'm sobbing myself to sleep, you don't just tell me you cut my socks. You welcome me back in your loving arms. You see my child, come jump on my lap. Treat it like a trampoline. Come sup with me, my little pup, my tiny guppy, when the world seems like it's coming to an end, and I'm stricken by calamity and catastrophe. You assist me in counting my blessings, considering all that you have caused to happen in my life. That undeserved favor you show me. You eradicate all my excuses for not praising you and putting you first above all else. No false god can compete with you. I find completion because of your love. Tranquility descends like a dove on me, and you call me your beloved child. Pleasing my Alpha and Omega above my own selfish desires. I can be so cold-hearted, yet you bring out the best in me. You will never rest till you've got the whole world down on their knees, nestling under your wings. You give me freedom from suffering. I am your adopted offspring, so grateful that you live inside my heart. We are in the world, not of the world, no more shall we depart from your company and covering. You are the one who makes my hips swing, precious Lord and King. I want the whole entire world to know about your love. What is it that makes people walk in opposition to you? They only fool themselves pretending to assume a position of neutrality. We are either for God or against him. We are either all in or all out. We can't do things by half measures. We run this race of life, keeping our eyes forever fixed on the prize of our heavenly treasures. I can't wait to see you at the finish line, saying, well done, my good and faithful servants. Now it's time to dine at my wedding feast, where those who are considered the least of these achieve greatness. When arrayed in your splendor, if we only find you listen, if we only lend you our ears and listen with our hearts, tuning into your frequency, perhaps we will see how frequently you have manifested your miracles in our lives, starting to realize what truly matters, no longer wasting time arguing over the benefits of wearing your hair naturally in the light of eternity. Fake follicles isn't going to prevent you entering through the gates of heaven, is it? There is no authentic locks and trusses policy that keeps you barred from the door of the maker of the galaxy, the one we adore with our whole beings, who wants all of us, not just a tiny portion, which we commonly distribute to him once a week. Why do we fear going deeper with him? What is it that holds us back from the arms of Elohim? Is it the fear of death if we see his face? Told that we may no longer live, yet thanks to the death of his son on the cross we can now approach his throne with boldness. Not an attitude of disrespect, but one of holy fear and reverence, knowing who he is, how powerful he is, and how privileged we are to call him friend and lover as well as Lord of the harvest of souls. So glad to call him our own. There is no way anyone could clone him. He will never leave us lonely. He will always be our hope, available to turn the tables on our situation, tear down the Tower of Babel we have created in our foolishness, attempting to replace the worship of our Creator with the elements of his creation, causing devastation to our faith, devaluing it, not cherishing it nearly as much as we should. If only we could live a life that's pure and good. I know it's not outside the realm of possibility to be able to relate to the opposite sex without annoying them or destroying their innocence. Even in the world outside of missionary school, we can be happy campers, even when the world tosses us in the trash pool. When we are treated like flashes in a pan, getting written off by flea-bitten, inconsiderate individuals who always see future potential, but never our present capacity to be utilized in advancing God's kingdom. Never mind what they think. Your opinion of me is more important. Pleasing you matters more than bringing a smile to the doll of the world, for you are my globe. I would gladly have my lobes pierced and nailed to the door to prove my heart is in service to you forever. Give me that willingness to surrender my life for you, to be willing to do whatever you ask to fulfill your will. No pill can give me lasting happiness like you do, a joy that never ceases even when my funds and friendships do. I hate to make promises I can't keep. It pains me to see others being thrown under the bus suddenly. I see things a little bit differently. I'm so glad you went the distance for me, being nailed to a cross so your will may prevail in my life. I don't need to endure any further misery than I have already, caused by keeping you far from me. Attempting to prevent you getting close to me. What happens when my secrets get exposed to the light, and I want a hole to open up in the ground and swallow me whole? Jesus, I know it's only you who can rescue me from this well of despair. I have filled with the teardrops trickling down my cheeks. My days and weeks are given to me by you. I was a fool to ever turn my back on you. I hate to see anybody attacking you. I would defend you to the hilt. I know I'm a little off kilter, but if you share your secrets, I promise none of the beans will be spilt. I can't knit you a quilt or any other thing, but I can weave a lyrical needle and thread a pattern for you to admire. Before my life expires, you have to get a little silk between your toes, but make sure you don't accidentally cram a speck of it up your gentle nose. You may have to tilt your head just a little bit to adjust to the view of look me in the eyes when I'm hanging upside down from the monkey bars. I find some women impossible to resist, but I know you were given me the capacity to avoid them like the plague if necessary. Except for that special lady who was the only one who should own my heart apart from Jesus. I would like to live in a world filled with love when nobody treats each other with disdain, where everybody thinks with their brains instead of their groins, when they use their intellectual capacity to do their negotiating, not their fists. We are too hasty to rush into arguments without considering whose feelings we might be trampling on like a dirty dog dashing through tulips in the process. I remember when we set up cowboys and Native Americans in our garden. The leaves of flowers substituting for the canopy of our make-believe forest.
I'm an arrow in your crossbow. Use me to shoot for distant goals. Aim me straight at the bullseye. It's only in your hands. I hit the target every time. Please be patient with me. I'm still in the process of reaching maturity. I was always simultaneously terrified and fascinated by the bright heads and bottoms of lime spiders dangling off the edge of our banana trees, weaving their way around the branches. But often I would shake my fists at those rascally possums, making off with our mandarins, lemons, and blood oranges. If they didn't get them, the leaf mold and natural process of decay would eventually anyway. I don't know what possessed me to buy a doorknob kit, a miniature first aid set, an emery board, and a green bamboo stick. Some things seem like better purchases before you leave the store than afterwards. Immediately I get hit by an evil breeze of toxic buyer's remorse. Kind of like the purchaser of my first book, who didn't expect me to talk about women in a sexual manner. Did he think that Christians aren't capable of having hormones? Perhaps he considered my themes inappropriate. A reprobate.
Is there any truth behind a canine's declining capacity to take in new information with the increase of age?
We may have been robbed, but praise God we didn't get bashed up. Our car may have been damaged, but I'm grateful it didn't get smashed up. Our tires avoided being slashed up. Please believe that when I finally tie the knots, my shorty is definitely gonna be patched up. Some say my brain cells are mashed up, looking like I washed up on some random beach in the middle of nowhere, looking a little worse for wear. I won't be left in the cold, gnashing my teeth, making a hash out of just about everything I do these days. Chasing any sweet-hearted chick who bats her lashes at me. Jehovah Rapha can heal our rashes. When our backs are turned, you know he ain't gonna trash us to the other two parts of himself, 'cause he always chooses to view worth and wealth in us. He can restore purity and full health to us. He can spot us even in the shadows when we think we're being clever and stealthy. Is his spirit shining out your face when you take your selfie? Perhaps your features are elfin. I care less about piling up my cash stash than storing up spiritual health. I can get a whole trove of treasures pouring out my mouth if I stick God's word in my ears and eyes and don't leave it sitting dusty on the shelf, like the springs in your field. He improves your digestion when you start to belch. He will pull you through any muddy puddle you're forced to squelch. He knows when you're in a muddle on his bets he won't welch. When I need an excuse to get me out of my chores, but my attitude should be one of willingness and excitement to help, instead of being a brat who doesn't know what side his bread is buttered on, with such a cluttered mind, who doesn't keep on reeling back inside his head to the day his mom and pops gave him life, and the good Lord guided them together to form a union, causing them to be fertile and cooperative with his plan to bring me into this crazy world. Being the firstborn means the lion's share of responsibility should theoretically fall on my shoulders, but not in my home. My little sister was always the more diligent and self-sufficient one, except when it came to her school work. Then she would lean heavily on Dad's crutch of support. All I can do is take the horse to water or use my racket to whack that ball into your court. You choose to take it and run with it. You choose to sip from this living, life-giving liquid or forsake it. I cannot force you with gunpoint to accept the truth of the gospel. You either get it now or you never will. God only knows how many days we got till our time is up. So please make your days count. before you've wasted the whole amount. I'm wondering if perhaps I'm ever gonna see the death of these days when I've got people breathing down my neck. They don't get the logic behind why I act in a certain way, why I push so hard just to rise above the freight. Now, do you have anything to say for yourself? Not in your defense, just 'cause I haven't heard any news from you in a while. I really love your smile. It kind of looks like a crocodile. You remind me of all my stillborn miscarried dreams that haven't come true yet. Of the odious injustice. How did you get where you are in your walking life? What possessed you to carry on down that path? I don't want to make anybody look like they are uttering promises that they can't keep. Incapable of delivering on that early premise of fulfilled expectations. Looking like a rat and a criminal, leading you up the garden path and dangling you over the edge of a cliff face. We can't leave our loved ones hanging in the air like this. Anticipation makes reckless fools out of us all. We take the plunge, sick of waiting, digging our own burial crypt. Now would be the perfect time to call you, but I won't. Some may see no wisdom in neglecting you, but I don't subscribe to their points of view. 'Cause absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? At least that's what I've heard. And I don't want to rot in hell for loving you too much to see the damage you could do if I got myself too close to you. I don't want the world to lose its affectionate embrace. My plans like soda pop cans fall flat on their face. Getting crushed, my dreams are aluminium. I watched them squished inside that bin. I saw them coming to fetch me, to push me deep down beneath the garbage mountain. The carnage has already been reached on my life. I have taken the road less traveled. I didn't think you would take the risk to fall in love with somebody like me. And I'm far too shady for you. I don't know what it is you're searching for in a relationship, but whatever it is, I can't give it to you. It's not that I'm frigid or crude. I just don't feel comfortable talking about that sort of stuff with you. I don't do as I ought to do. In fact, I do the opposite. At least not 24/7. I wouldn't want to cause you any deception or feed any possible misconceptions you might have about my life being glamorous and full of parties. My hands are clammy. I just tip Smarties all over my pants. I saw an echo waltz across my trousers, perhaps searching for a tiny fragment of leaf to feed its lady love. I know that feeling 'cause my honey practically, for all intents and purposes, lives inside a world of dreams. She could be my damsel in distress. We wait until we get married before we start to undress. Even if we take each other's clothes up with our eyes, we keep them on for the sake of valuing the sacred covenant of our heart's bond. 'Cause we know there's greater pleasure to be gained from delayed gratification. If you had all your Christmases come at once, you'd be thrilled to bits for about 5 minutes, but then you get sick of opening presents and seeing new items appear before your gleaming greedy eyes. You are my special one. You are my honey bun. You are my sun, moon, and stars. I love you just the way you are. I promise to change anything you don't like about me that doesn't require going under the knife for plastic surgery or learning how to drive, change diapers, or teach myself a language that's foreign to my tongue. I'm sorry, honey, I'm just not that way inclined. Leave that for far more clever minds than such as mine is. Do you think you can see yourself with me on a permanent basis? Could we be more than a hallucination I'm having in the night hours? Will I wake up screaming, holding my pillow tight? No one like a bat flapping its wings high in the heavens. You up and disappeared, gone into the night. And I didn't try to stop you. I couldn't even if I tried. You were determined to see the back of this country. You couldn't run up and face the music and keep on trucking down the same old path as me. It wasn't meant to be. I had my times of loneliness. I paid the fee. I thought we were too strong to break. Guess I was wrong about that. Like a kid stepping on the spine of a rhinoceros beetle, I didn't see you suddenly snap. Luminous detritus. Thanks. Whoa. Thanks for always thinking about me, even though I wasn't always considerate of your feelings. I turned my face away from you when you wanted to come close to me. I didn't see the world in what you were trying to tell. I didn't see the whiff in what you were trying to tell me, even though you saw value in me. You alone know why. You would bow out of die for an evil-minded kid like this with such a topsy-turvy personality. 1 minute being completely devoted to you, the next showing you my self-absorbed spinal cord. I know you don't allow any animal to die without a reason. Like those beautiful dappled Egyptian stallions or those Miss Pop Valley geldings and horses crippled in their prime. Or were they just old man's biding their time, as I often feel I am? Perhaps doomed to play a similar role to that of old maid. I wasn't made to waste away my days. You heal the crippled. You create a ripple effect of love, joy, hope, and peace, spreading far and wide throughout the world. I forget to put you first in my life. Then I wonder why my plans seem to be going awry. Is it 'cause I untied myself from your moorings? I was anchored in the safe harbor of your heart. This is where I wanna stay forever. My only endeavor is simply to please you and prioritize you above a lover, wants and needs in my life. I know it seems spontaneous acts of generosity that I reveal your compassion to others. If I point their eyes towards you and don't attempt to steal for myself the glory that belongs to you. For I would never have considered the possibility of my own of going out on a limb for the sake of holy affection. It seems sometimes I have an appetite for destruction 'cause I seem to sabotage all my relationships, including the most important one with you. If only I wasn't a better listener, perhaps I would avoid falling into bits of chaos down the road a little further. Wish I could say I've lost none of my fervor, but some days I'd rather sleep than leap out of bed with an idea in my head, desperate to get it down before a while the more crowns my achievement for your kingdom. That's my inspiration and motivation 24/7, 365. How can I keep your love alive, burning this forest of scorching torches in my heart? I feel myself becoming increasingly distant from people I'm not immediately related to, or those who haven't journeyed through all the ups and downs, the joys and difficulties with me, already seeking me through times of trouble, and euphoria. It's for your honor that we continue onwards in gratitude for all you've done. Let our attitudes be one of all, united with your will, filled to bits just to be waltzing in your incredible presence, which steals my breath in the best of ways and steals my thoughts when they want to come out and play, yet should probably be locked in the doors of my brain for a few more hours, percolating and being processed and refined by your holy fire before being allowed out into the atmosphere. Why do any of us fear the future when you've got it in your hands? If we walk in obedience to you, then we haven't got a thing to worry about. Yes, you allow us to die, but in your mercy you always send messengers after us to rescue us from the consequences of our actions, to help us realize the gravity of the situation that any sin unaccounted for will be reminded of on the day of judgment, and that will determine whether we are welcomed in your house with open arms or kicked out on our rear ends to sins with all our heathen and pagan friends. You call us to be all completely devoted to you, not fence-sitters or bitter and twisted by any means. Some will sell their own family down the river for the sake of an increasing the amount of filthy lucre held in their pot. Some of us treat each other less kind than we do animals. I wonder what for we drive a hard bargain pushing ourselves off the precipice. I want to give you more than just a piece of me. I surrender into your arms the whole shebang without artifice. Without caring whether or not anyone else is looking around to witness the public spectacle of another angel receiving its wings. The bells are ringing in the shadows, Lord, keep me from being stuck at the shallow end of this book. Professing ourselves wise, we often act like fools, 'cause we fail to turn to you for our hopes, fuel. Quiet our unruliness. There is a war that rages within me. I struggle inside of spirit versus flesh. One day I know you were going to win over hell and death. I wanna be on the victorious team, not the losing one. In the only war game that ever counted for anything, we would be misguided in the extreme to deny the reality of hell and heaven and the God who made the universe. Why do we attempt to shut off your access from our hearts? You know all our thoughts anyway. We can't disguise them from you in the slightest, targetly pursuing an agenda of maladroitness. Raise us up from these cups-like existences. There's a copse of trees surrounding me. They provide shade and help me to block out the harsh radiative effects of the sun's bright light. Little birds are jumping up and down in their twisted tangle of branches. Everything is purposely designed, just so precisely organized in exact locations. When we find ourselves uprooted from our identity, that's when we desperately need to get back to you. Unless it's the process of soul searching that leads us home. 'Cause maybe we never knew who we truly were, made of water, blood, and dirt, born to dance amongst the stars, proud of king, mystic glitter in galaxies. We're the one and only King of Kings, who sets our minds at ease and gives us perfect peace, holding us in a troublesome storm. We do not conform to the world and its ways, just because it's becoming increasingly difficult these days to maintain our integrity. It's often in those environments when we are broken down, when everything we love and cherish has been taken away from us, that we realize how desperately we need you. Can our relationship with you be deeper than a shopping list? How do we get beyond merely describing the attributes of your character? You are healer and provider, you are comforter and hope giver, source of all wisdom, authority, and truth. You sustain me when no friends remain, when I couldn't make the grade, when I have traded your riches for poor substitutes. Why did I salute the cause of those vehemently opposed to you, who only held you close to curry favor, hoping you would lie to mention send their enemies to kingdom come, or drop a bucket of gold coins down from heaven? You don't always give us the things we ask, 'cause we request amiss with incorrect motives. Your celestial locomotive comes to our town, and all the souls drown in the muck of the misery. Nurtured by sorrow, find a brighter tomorrow when they look into your eyes, when they see your perfect face, when the world which we embrace makes the stomach sick.
Plausible deniability doesn't work with the existence of Jesus. There is more than enough overwhelming evidence to convict me that you walked on this planet. You cleanse me of a lifetime of regret. Jesus, you're my lifeline in this world of danger. No one is a stranger to you, for you know
La secret thoughts. Is an arranged marriage the answer to my perplexing obstacle? How can I obtain the fulfillment of my sexual desire without walking outside your will? I know the way you designed us was to go forth and multiply. I've tried other sources of comfort, but nothing seems to satisfy. Outside of you, why do I hunt down affection in the wrong direction? Clinging to these ancient feelings, wringing out the dirty dishcloth of my heart, bubbling in the acid broth brewed by the tongues of all who throw their fiery darts at me. If I know you're real, why do I live like you don't exist? As if you can't see everything I do. Think or say, my sins of omission or commission steered away from seraphic visions. It's incredible to think how you can be everywhere at once and how you never even surrendered to sin one single time. See a dime on the shingles that doesn't belong to you. I know you would choose to let it be, 'cause you teach me to be honest even in the little things. No earthly I shall ever see, 'cause you are our activity even if no one else does. And you say be faithful to me in the small things, and I shall reward you with the big things. We have to prove ourselves worthy of the privilege of trust you choose to place in us, not despising our hearts as long as they remain broken or contrite or malleable to do your will. Even those who had no business issuing a good report about you couldn't help but admit you are the Son of God. You did in fact die and rise again. The evidence is irrefutable and totally indisputable. There should be no shadow of doubt within our minds, although doubt in itself is not a sin. It can grind us into the bowels of hell itself. I love it when your miracles can't be easily written up or explained, which happens more often than not. Those who had a vested interest in perpetuating the falsehood that your time here was just a comforting myth were forced to admit you did in fact live and breathe. They tried to hide the knowledge of your deity, proven by your empty tomb. Everyone who rails against you will ultimately fail. You triumph against all odds, and odds set against you. There are stories of your arrival and departure in the multitude of cultures. Knowledge of your word is hidden in the hearts of all mankind. You were drawing them to your side. You are forming the ice around their hearts with the blowtorch of your love. You have journeyed with me through all the ups and downs of my relationships. Why did I not heed the warning of my shaking fingers? Dismissing them, they're none too subtle siren. Flashing alarm bells in my head. Perhaps I should wait before proceeding with what I am about to declare for the exclusive audience of one who I assumed did truly, madly, deeply care for me, revoking the privilege of being informed automatically when she was not just potentially available, but actually ready to converse. Given the huge honor of being able to share my tiny red hearts and thoughts with her. She could have blocked me, but she didn't. I know that was your hand at work, keeping our companionship stoked. You are the one who stops my world from spiraling out of control. When I quake, rattle and roll out of bed in the morning, when a new day is dawning. And I wonder how long I'm gonna last without caving into the pressure to follow my peers. How easily do our days disappear? Watch them drain like the cheeks of a shocked individual when threatened. Did I cause you embarrassment to be seen with me in public? Were you afraid of affording me too many perks simultaneously? I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but then again, no one walking on the surface of this earth ever did in the whole of history. The reasoning behind all the miracles of Jesus will forever remain a beautiful mystery. Some think it was a preparation of your death. how you turned water into wine, reminiscent of how blood and water flowed from your side when you got pierced with a spear to test whether you were truly dead or not. As hard as it is to believe that anyone would be able to survive that agonizing, torturous ordeal, yet they had to make sure just to be on the safe side, as if you could exact any revenge if you were merely a physical form, and not in fact the offer of heaven and earth came to this world through virgin birth. The mathematical odds against the likelihood of all the prophecies concerning you being fulfilled in any other body but you. As a body of Christ, we obtain our strength from you. We drink from your living waters. We hibernate inside your heart. Why would people bother swearing and using your name blasphemously if you didn't exist? Surely that's the sign of them fighting against the truth we were born to display in each avenue of our God adored lives. There were many who would try to discredit you down through the years to no avail. There was far too much historical proof and numerous accounts from different authors, even outside the two holy books made one. We use each part precious in its side. Though he takes it as a slight when we insult it, you would better believe that he will keep on fighting for even the most stubborn and repulsive heart. I don't have to see the scars in your side or the marks from the nails in your palms to know you are the genuine article. Each particle of you was designed itself for my penance and absolution. I may not have denied you before men in quite the same way as the disciples of old, but for sure I am guilty of giving consent through silence when your validity and relevance is discredited. It really grinds my gears, yet you whisper, turn the other cheek. Let the records and chronicles of those who were being exposed to my teaching do the convicting for you. It's a scary thought to consider if we don't admit you are Lord before man when we're possessing the knowledge of it. We can only blame ourselves if you deny us before your heavenly Daddy. Uttering these blood-curdling, bone-chilling words, apart from me, I never knew you. We don't want to be among those goats who you attempted to engage. You just dismissed you as if you belonged in the lunatic asylum. You make mincemeat out of the flawed logic of your enemies. They come up with increasingly convoluted explanations to discern our origins outside of your intervention. None of us who follow you merely invented you. For you have been around since before the beginning of time itself. We don't need a shrove of Turin to prove that you got wrapped in burial clothes, or your nappy to inform us of what your swaddling clothes look like. We don't need to bleed to death without your guidance discipline working within us. If past experience didn't teach me when to keep my big lips zipped, it sure did now. I guess you could say I'm still trying to negotiate this world around me. It doesn't always conform to my expectations, but if it did, I probably wouldn't want it anyway. We do not always do what's customary or follow the traditional path prescribed to us by our ancestors. We don't behave as we're required every time. Maybe we should do the opposite of bad and follow the paths of godliness and holiness. I have ventured beyond my usual surroundings. You were guiding me each step of my journey. I swear allegiance to a higher creed than any which my government can muster. Yes, indeed, I remain unflustered by the pull of current and tide. You cause my waves of nausea to subside, still I rise upon the morning mist. You are the reason I exist. Tell me why do I persist in dying to myself about what I'm capable of handling, pulling others through way too much pressure, putting others way putting others through way too much pressure. I never meant to stress out anyone as a result of being connected to me romantically. I'm driven by a frantic urge to propagate the philosophy that in Christ is obtained true freedom, escape the chaos of necessity's obligation. Eke out my frustration in your ever open ears, struggling to stay sincere in a world of plastic authenticity. Rumors spread like wildfire. I'm just counting down the seconds till they consume me, precariously balanced against each other. Did you discover the key to true freedom? You don't leave me seething out in the cold shadows. You're the reason why I'm breathing. Inject your truth in my bone and marrow. Your eyes are honest, just like the grains of sand and sparrows. Our lives are in your hands. You understand, oh, the maelstrom running around us. Secure is only a prayer away from this current pain. I never found out what it was like to gain the world, so I guess I couldn't lose my soul in the process. I feel like I'm changing in ways I can't resist, wondering why I persist and bathe in my mind in the solution of lies. There's no flies on you, no successful method of fooling your mind successfully, no pulling the wool over your eyes. For you know all there is to be. All there is to accumulate information-wise. You hold more in your brain than even the most intellectual giant under the sun. Oh, one who is a whiz with numbers, you rouse me from my slumber. Calling out your name, I have misplaced my priorities. I wondered how I'd squeeze between the gates of heaven with all the vicious piles of misdeeds I've been accumulating. Though tensions may be escalating, you will exhale the spirit of calm. You will keep us out of harm's reach. I beseech you to have mercy on me, the one far from worthy of the love you bestow on me. Can you throw me a tiny bone of favor? Can you change my slovenly behavior? Teach me to obey your precepts and humbly follow in your footsteps. I have to prize myself away from your precious eyes. Though we have been extremely victimized, it helps to gain perspective that though the rain may fall, you are Lord above all. You are capable of transforming trash bags into starlight. See the honeymooners dance in the beams of car lights in my mind's eye. Why do we push ourselves so far off the brink? If I went to see it shrink, would he just treat me like an Amazonian native and wear my shriveled skull around his neck? Or stash me on the shelf, used as a candle to light the winter gloom of his little mud hut where the piranhas bloom in abundance, and you have to be careful where you stick your limbs when you go swimming or canoeing. You know everything we're doing. You see straight through me like our frames are made of cellophane. You fill us with uncontainable floods of joy. You can barely restrain yourself from expressing your love for us. You lift a dark depression moods when they come hovering over us, pinning us down, drilling us beneath the dirt, not pleasing in your sight. Whoa. You have cultivated the development of your nature in us. You have nurtured us, pruning away those parts of us that are not pleasing in your sight. You never give up fighting for our attention until the day we bust forever from this pale planet. You see our future. You know what's hiding just around the corner. And no event that occurs in our lives or lines of surprises you, for you have already seen ahead of time the interconnecting threads of our decisions and their consequences. You pour out your blessings on us like a cup tipping from the clouds. You never shroud your intentions. You are barely recognizable with when compared. Well, you are completely transparent with us. I don't know why it is you love us even when we act despicably and make ourselves barely recognizable when compared with how you design them to be. Yet none of us are beyond your ability to redeem. The devil may plot and scheme, but he can't get his claws on us as long as we stay in your will. in our lives. May your purpose and plans become fulfilled. You cause me to remain peaceful and still until the day our feet finally rests upon Zion's hill. You fix what needs mending in us and leave alone often what we see as mistakes, but you don't make them. Though we may experience exhaustion, trying to figure out why some of us should be made with physical deformity, you are capable of performing miraculous works, exceedingly or abundantly, above all we may possibly ever ask or think. Though our lives are full of flaws, you help us to serve a higher cause. You never swerve away from me, showing me love we are completely undeserving of. Showing us love we are completely undeserving of. You remain faithful, though we are fickle and far from felicitous. You pour out your unfailing, unlimited compassion on us. You have sheltered us under your wings. We draw comfort from your pleasant presence, though I have been vain and arrogant. You have humbled my pride-filled heart. You have assisted me in my struggles. You never cease to amaze me. I praise you for making me so fearfully and wonderfully. I'm astounded by your genius. You conquer all obstacles in your path. You will never be destroyed by all the agony because your lovely eyes. Am I consistent in my faith for wishy-washy? Whoa. I praise you for making me so fearfully and wonderfully. I'm astounded by your genius. You conquer all obstacles in your path. You will never be destroyed by all the agony we cause. Your lovely heart. I've been hunting for you in a secret place in the public areas where there is no getting away from prying eyes. Am I consistent in my faith or wishy-washy? What is it about me that you would ever choose to seek delight in, Lord? You transform my mind so I am capable of replacing my natural tendency towards cruelty and selfishness with kindness and selflessness. You are loving and sweet in all your ways. You give me the strength to get through my days. Even in my moments of weakness, you never cease loving me. You are able to find something worth utilizing within me. Though my sins are more numerous than the amount of cells in the human body, chase away the melancholy from my thoughts. Let me not be caught up in the conflict between my sisters and brothers, or father and mother. Let me never be the cause of it. Does my sin create a catalyst for strife in the world? Still, all I know is it affects my ability to be your kid. Over-dramatic excuses for a victimless criminal. How long is it gonna be before our world comes to an end? How could we survive in this universe without our family and friends? Despite my inadequacies as a human being, the freedom I've tasted in Jesus keeps me clinging to a lasting hope. Even though my tongue is tasting salty teardrops spilled from my eyes, I can't disguise the affection I have for my Lord and Maker. I can't hide it under a rock or stash it away behind a bush. I have been pushed to breaking point, but simply emulating your heart kept me from snapping. Your protective wings enabled me to overcome, ripping out the grappling hooks of the sin embedded in my being. I have been careless in my actions, chasing satisfaction elsewhere, yet it can truly only be discovered in you. I know the world isn't always operating in accord with the machinations of my mental cogs and wheels, twisting and turning, grinding together evasively dodging questioning glances when the surf zooms in for a closer look at me. Traumatic events have shook me up like tiny paper flakes trapped in a snow globe. Doing the fandango under the strobe lights, ignite the secret blaze in us. How you enthrall and amaze us. as we flip through the pages of our lives. How much of them will bring a smile to your eye, and which shall cause you to sob as if the dams had burst their walls in your vision? There is no possible way to turn the taps off on the waterworks. Let us not shirk our duty to spend time gathering together collections of insight from your throne room. The groom pouring his treasures in his bride's ears and eyes, watching in pride as they come streaming out her mouth. Let us display your love in our actions, not just in vain repetitions of ritualistic prayers, only vaguely connecting with the everyday obstacles we experience. Not insurmountable unless we keep our eyes on our dwarf-sized and mist giants. And not the God who loves us, who can slay the sons of Anakim with 6 smooth stones set impatiently in the river. Oh, yes. Ever arguing amongst themselves, which would be the one amongst their siblings to serve the most exalted purpose. You are searching for a people willing to be used to fulfill your will. What if we were the ones who missed out on being utilized for visibly great achievements for your kingdom? Perhaps you need our smiles, hugs, waves, kind words, random acts of generosity, freshly scrubbed toilets, and replucked garden beds, instead to speak volumes of your love and truth. Oh, the multitude of changes that can be made in us, and how much better life becomes when we resemble a closer reflection of your heart. We have never gone without, 'cause you have always taken care of us. I am reminded of the sheep and goats. I wouldn't want to be held accountable on the day of judgment for ignoring you when you came to me asking for assistance. In the form of a small child or a fully grown adult is in the body of a small bird with a broken wing. My mind operates fundamentally differently from the way my folks were raised to behave. I guess I have too much darkness and not enough light in me. Otherwise, I may respond with an attitude of joy more frequently than with a heart of grumpiness. I guess I'm just no good at interacting with human beings. I may as well do the world a favor and throw myself off yonder bridge. It's not certainty of salvation I lack, just my ability to adopt a mindset of tact and diplomacy, to be willing to bend over backwards to help somebody is so from flirting with the enemy. To be willing to bend over backwards to help somebody to see we don't just love Jesus with our hymns, but are willing to roll up our sleeves and get them dirty to prevent us all from flirting with the enemy. To the point where they confuse their horns again for halos. Their conscience becomes numb, their senses dull to their own evil. None of us are immune to criticism. We must shrug our shoulders and deny that words can hurt us. That is true, they do stab deep. Leave us wounded inside. Leave us wounded physically as we ingratiate ourselves with those who chose to overinflate our egos at the expense of our integrity. We let those yes men fleece us, do it with the heart of grace. Well, you let those yes men fleece us blind in daylight hours. I won't just kiss your feet if I get paid, even if I didn't receive a single lump sum. I would do it with a heart of grace. I'm not a naturally generous and compassionate person, but you could change this beastly nature that's within me. My mother looks at a child and wonders how she managed to raise a monster in her womb. Did she make the biggest mistake of her life and not abandon me? Was I just wasting the time of anyone cursed enough to spend a single second with me? Should I just abolish the thought of rising above this misery, weighing me down? Life ceased to exist. Well, weighing me down. Suddenly I sink like a boulder pushed beneath the sea. I've got the globe on my shoulders and nobody cares if my life ceased to exist, or do they? I know I got people who see treasures in me, who see treasure in me, not just trash. I'd better seize this opportunity before it's gone in the greasy glimpse of flashing steel pen. Can I think differently and retrain my brain when I've been going on with this stingy unbecoming attitude far too long. For far too long. Forcing my ex to settle for the cheapest fare, too embarrassed to ask for the finest wares. Though I would gladly have pulled the moon down from the sky just to make it smile for an hour or two. When I'm in a company, putting on a brave face, pretending the world wasn't going to hell in a handbasket. Acting as if we could act like a couple of twits towards each other and still wind up in each other's arms at the end of the day. Our interactions fraught with tension. When you took the distraction of concerts and flowers and fast flowing rivers away. When it was just us in a train station seat on the platform where we first met. Surprising me when she popped up on the other side of the street. Snuck around behind me and said, guess who? She was full of tricks like that, so curiously playful, bringing jubilance to my nonchalant, haphazard attitude. I approached life quite recklessly. Didn't see her as worth cherishing enough to prevent myself from sticking a bullet through her heart emotionally. Yet still she lingers in my company. God only knows how I got this blast. People don't pedal backwards on bicycles, so why do we allow the wheel of love to rotate 360 degrees to where we've been? Is it our fear for life beyond what we have built up with? That special somebody. Have we convinced ourselves nobody else could ever discover something lovable in us again? I have fouled up every relationship I ever attempted to get off the dirt. Should I wander around wearing a hair shirt, mourning for the loss of a love that never existed outside my own mind? It's easy to fool myself that she might possibly care just because she didn't toss a bucket of toadstools in my head. Moroseness is the gross domestic product of the country of my heart. It's kind of killing me that I can't be with you right now, but I know I've got to be patient. I'm still learning how it's possible for me to step forward without stumbling. Seems like my spirit needs a little humbling. I can't fool myself thinking any single woman under the sun is up for grabs. Just because I cooked up a bunch of plans in my lab to take you out to lunch. It doesn't mean you're biting on my bait. Plenty fish in the ocean in the meantime. I just contemplate. What am I gonna do with all the time on my hands? How can I use it wisely and not make Jesus ashamed? I find myself engaged in endless ways in endless wars of rationalization. So easy just to waste my hours away. Let them slip through my fingers every day. Way more music videos than you can poke a stick at that I absolutely just have to watch. Even though really I should stay away if I know what's good for me. And more often than not, I definitely don't. That's why I need your guidance, Jesus. Cause I the tasty muscle of news about a new release of an audio visual combination by what was formerly my favorite artist is enough to tip me over the edge of this marble cliff and send me forth hurtling into the abyss. That's how serious this is. It's the difference between representing women and treating them like a piece of meat. Respecting women and treating them like a piece of meat. I can feel myself switching between these callous and caring mentalities. I know it's true what it says in James. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So Lord, help me to be a man with just one mind. I'm so sick of being unkind to myself and others. It's time to be a little less cruel. When I acted unruly, I was surely behaving like a fool. Why am I driven to destruction? I can feel it surging to satisfy my craving. Yet in you I can find peace and contentment if I just focus on you. These desires will disappear. Both the ones that I can legally discuss without fear of getting thrown in the clink, and those who would wind me up in chains. In another world where it's easy to play pin the tail on a donkey of blame, I hang my head in shame. I couldn't stop at mere curiosity being picked. I had to go as far as I possibly could, but giving in when it came to pushing the envelope. I came close to breaking point. It was only my sense of propriety that kept me from giving in the night is still young, so I just might, if I'm not careful, to watch my step. But I don't think she's gonna pop up in my suggestions anytime soon, although she well might, 'cause I happen to admire the same culture she partially represents, though not the kind of woman I want to be with. One who is a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, not hellbound like this alluring temptress. Why do I focus more on a woman I can't have? I let your better compromise and not to victim my spirit in a negative sense. If only I was the kind of guy not to drop like a fly at the side of a pretty face. Then the made up to the nines kind I'd wanna embrace at first sight if there was enough light and I played my cards correctly. Perhaps she wouldn't direct me to the waste paper basket with a rolling sarcastic eyes. Being virtual friends is definitely not the same as wanting to go out on a date or even being regular offline buddies. I know that. Right now, we barely qualify as acquaintances. I'm just hoping the passage of time might change that, but I don't know how to approach you without either being a cold fish or hot and heavy. Still striving to find that happy medium. I think we might have gotten there today. Now to just keep things running smoothly between us for the sake of our lives. I think we need Jesus' help with that. Silence is awkward, like knowing the facts, sharing all our stories, so we run out of alphabet soup supplies. Still better than never understanding a single word the other one of us says. It's less like I work with you in one aspect. We don't have to climb a mighty mountain just to comprehend one another, but trying to convince you to choose only me. That's like comparing Everest with a happy little hill like we could conquer with a significant portion of a merry afternoon. If we were cartoons, I wonder if maybe you would find it easier to relate to a guy like me and take him out on dates. I'm jealous of that guy, y'all better get for years of me. So glad it was your sibling in that photo and not your honey. But how can I possibly know your relationship still if you refuse to advertise? It's a whole lot of guesswork. And I just can't come out of the nice point blank. Not when you're surrounded at every turn by bodyguard and relatives. Getting along with your folks and siblings is definitely a good start. But it's gonna take more than that to win your heart. I wish I could do what I love and be able to put bread on your table. That would be a dream come true. Other than having babies after marriage with you, we had our first conversation today. I wonder if you wrote about it like me. It was as brief as the blink of an eye, but better than nothing, even in the crowded company of free. I doubt I could get you alone sometimes this century. I never thought that you would ever bother to talk to me. When I saw you at the next table across from me, I was dreaming of talking to you, but was certain your heart was completely out of reach, forever protected by a force field. I thought you were way too good for the likes of me. It's amazing that you'd even let me share the same air as you. I know you don't have any choice about me proving it that I would like. But I would like to imagine you wouldn't deny me the privilege if you put in charge the permission or continual inhaling and exhaling for the entire population of us humans. Is it bad that I'm thinking about you so much like this? I'm sure I'm not the first guy to try and pull a move on you. I know I have to tread carefully, 'cause if I don't, I'm likely to fall flat on my face and have a mob of angry people chasing after me with pitchforks, wanting to string me up for saying or doing something I shouldn't around you. I wonder why they make all these crazy assumptions about you. I don't find you to be snobbish at all. I think it's an insult when they say I'm more like them than you. How could I be when your blood dictates your connection to them? It's good. It's got nothing to do with your willingness to adopt a language or culture. As far as I'm concerned, if you're in it, you're in it. If this game's made you who you are, culture is not a coat we put on and take off as at a wind. That is why at least free will always be a pale imitation of you, if I dare to claim their kinship beyond grace. Oh man. Okay. Peace out.